Welcome back to Tran Wins Mass Builder. We're gonna get some gains today. A lazy day and a lazy commander. This wasn't a scene one can find every day, with how diligent the said commander had been, training, honing their skills, and flying to various corners of the world to participate in some kind of missions they were given. It was a warm morning with a little bit of light. The shelter's and weather control systems have been working well, it seems, and your own base temperature controls are working at its finest alongside. Maybe you should take today off. A thought came across your mind. Diligently working day and night for weeks, if not months straight, has been helpful, but it can turn harmful if you don't have some good rest days as well.
Commander, the technical team has reported that they finally cracked open the object.
Brianna came running into the reception area, almost hitting herself on the newly bought couch. It was placed strategically there to catch the eye and attention of anyone passing by the reception area. You remember her saying that some people are just too lazy to go back to their room after work and would fall asleep in bad posture in their working quarters. Thus putting this couch that looks comfortable as a bed in the reception area should at least help them out. But that would only work with people who don't mind being seen sleeping. That's what you had thought, but decided to keep it to yourself. It isn't wise to reprimand someone with good intentions, and since you're a part of the problem and resting in it, it's wiser to keep your mouth shut.
Commander, hello? Are you daydreaming again?
You raised your hand to signal that you're not asleep, raised yourself into a sitting position, and asked Brianna to give her report.
I'll begin then. After weeks and months of tedious work, we have finally disassembled the outer layer of the object, revealing what was inside for the first time.
Brianna gestured her hands, literally picking up the projected image and handing it to you. The image showed a spherical container locked into place. Inside of the container was some sort of mechanical lock. No. After careful observation, you noticed a mechanism to release what was inside.
Our engineers have been examining these mechanisms for a while, with how mysterious this object is, but after everything, it's just a simple vacuum locking mechanism. The part that's more complicated, though, is the center of the device itself. If you look through the images, you might have noticed remnants of a purplish black dust within. And we all know what those things are. Crystallized void particles. We usually don't see it, right? But that's a very big chunk that was large enough for our robotic eyes to notice. They've been writing lots of hypotheses while we're out doing our missions. Would you like to hear all of them? Or just the conclusions our engineers came up with, Commander?
A second of pondering and you replied with a shaking of your head.
But look no further than the text here, Commander.
Brianna took another projected image and sent them your way, this time full of text that would take you more than a few hours to decipher. It is extremely lengthy and full of scientific vocabulary. And why did some old-world mathematician decide to add letters to the equations? Your perplexed looks must have shown too much. Brianna was giggling like a child that successfully pranked their parents. She stopped only when you pointed your finger toward the textbook-like thing in your hand. I'll give you a short explanation. The object, or Cyclopean Eye as our engineers called it in accordance to its origin, is a device that holds condensed void crystals within a vacuumized container. On its activation, the container would destroy the void crystal, releasing an extremely large amount of void particles into the area. As you may have recalled from your lessons back in the academy, this is a phenomenon that would most likely cause quark rifts to open up. In simpler terms, it's a device that can call quarks into the area on activation. This might be the reason quarks suddenly showed up when we were at the dam, or at the desert, or even that time in the snowy mountains. Well, that's a hypothesis, but it's the most likely explanation we can give at the moment. So we're taking that hypothesis as a base and planning to investigate further. This will require your assistance. Finish whatever you're doing and come meet Elnir and me in the briefing room, Commander. Take your time. Alright, let's take a look. They mentioned that they did a lot of changes to the game. They called it a hotfix 8.0, but it has been about 6 months. I don't know if that's really a hotfix or just a patch. So what I'm going to do is down here, below the messages, I will show you what the text used to say for these items. And at the very end, I'll show you what my stats used to be before in the previous version. Now the text have changed a great deal. They really did not like a person using cancels to continue to dash attack. Let's go ahead and include the screen. This is what my stats were in version 0.7.6. These are what my stats are in 0.8.2. And so we're gonna go and get rid of this because it no longer gives me a great durability boost. When I strike an enemy, I'm only gonna get 150 hit points back. Enemy probably hits me for about, we'll say 600 on normal mode. I went for a very generic approach. Since we're going to be doing Chapter 3, I imagine that I can have access to new ingredients I didn't have before. So we're just going to go and collect everything, as well as get plenty of ammo. They pretty much did away with anything that had to do with interruptions, move canceling, which is silly because one of their early posts says if they have a design philosophy of if everything's OP, nothing's OP. Apparently they felt that this was too OP. So everything now has basically says can trigger every X seconds. Lame. So instead of being a powerful mech, now you're just an average dude. Oh well. But when you go into development, you can see that I have 343 asterite, and I need 4 to build this. But I need 10 halite fragments or fragma and 4 isolated void particles. So I wasn't able to collect anything past this area, but I have maxed out everything I could possibly build up to tier 6 items. So that's why we're gonna go and go crazy collecting stuff. It's the same scene every time. Rihanna sitting at her desk with documents piling over her head, and Elinir just sitting nearby with a lollipop in her mouth. We tried them once before when Elinir put them in a pantry for everyone, but all of them were extremely sour and burned their taste buds. Elinir always said that if you can bear the first few seconds, it'll turn into a mishmash of sweet and sour mellowing in your mouth. Both glanced at your arrival. Rihanna shoved the documents she was looking over the moment you walked across the doorway, pulled out a single file from nowhere.
Welcome. I see you didn't choose to linger elsewhere just to piss me off, my dear friend. Honestly, I would have done so if I were in your shoes, so you're a better person than me. Good. Now, to the matter at hand, let's talk business. First, did you know that void particles from each origin have a minuscule difference, Commander?
You ponder for a moment. Whether there's a lesson about this in the Academy, but your memories told you that there isn't, and this is the first you've heard about it.
Judging by your reaction, I'll assume that's a no. I didn't know about it until I researched much later as well, so I don't blame you for that. It's all scientific stuff that won't get through unless you take your time to study about them, but that's beside the point. The point is that Kindola and Kale were able to trace the condensed void crystal back to somewhere near the northernmost red zone, the area that's being monitored by some PMCs and the WDF themselves in case of a breakout. However, entering those areas blindly is basically throwing away your M.A.S.S units. It's filled with quarks, void particles, and whatever the red zone has. I don't know much of it. There's not enough information except it's dangerous and always monitored. So we'll turn our head towards this place, the Laugar Iceberg, a block of ice that is on the forefront of that red zone. The WDF and its commissioned PMC had set up these things called void particle monitoring anchors up there, and I need you to get to these things, get their data, and get out. Every few months, they'll relaunch newer anchors to replace the old ones. Some are damaged by quarks, some detached from the ice piece that's in optimal position. Anyhow, they need people to relocate the monitoring devices attached to each anchor to the newer ones. This is an opportunity for us, an opportunity we cannot miss. But it's a dangerous place that will require authorization to get to as well. The WDF don't want people to run into their deaths, obviously. The fact that what we wanted is there, so we need to get into it. There's also the fact that the Cyclops are hiding around a much more dangerous area somehow. Back to the data. It will help us further analyze and determine a specific coordinate of origin, which I think will either lead us to where or how they created these Cyclopean eyes. It should also help us circumvent the concentrated areas and find a pathway towards our target safely. You might ask, how the blazes are we going to do that legally when it's a place that only authorized units can get into? Well, Rihanna had a solution for us. Fire away! The WDF always had ongoing missions as mentioned by Miss Neon in her list. This is one of them that she had sent us last time. It's a mission for any PMC that's free to patrol the Laugar Iceberg, retrieve key information from the monitors, and get out. We'll take on the mission, scheduled to begin in roughly a few weeks from now, and create a copy of that data manually. These monitoring anchors are equipped with data emitters to communicate with each other as well as back to the WDF. We'll equip your M.A.S.S unit with a receiver. You just need to be around them long enough, and you'll get the data we need, Commander. But honestly, this place looks suspicious, don't you think so? A place that only authorized personnel are allowed in the area? A place deemed to be one of the front lines of danger? I feel like we'll find something more than data in this mission. Just a hunch, you know? Like hiding trees in a forest? That's an ancient saying if I ever heard of one. But it's the correct saying to use. Yes, my hunch is telling me they're just right there. We just need a marker of sorts that leads us to the correct dangerous place. That'll be all for the briefing today, Commander. Let's hope we find something useful. Help the WDF set up portable data emitters to monitor void particles. Destination, Laugar Iceberg.
Mission start.
Commander, you've arrived at the Laugar Iceberg. In this mission, you'll be accompanied by a MAD unit, and if you're wondering, It's a multi-purpose assistant drone. The MAD unit will transfer the special device attached from the old anchors onto the new one. It uses power from your M.A.S.S unit, so you can't be too far away from it, but enough for you to engage in combat. And we're using the same tech to siphon data gathered from the anchors into a storage device on your unit, O-Trace. Now please be extra careful. Void particles are extremely thick around the place. You'll surely run into quarks.
Yeah, do I not? I thought I had equipped an item that lets me see what their weakness is. That's fine. Right, I no longer have Wildfire as starter, but I can still do tons of damage doing this way. Now you can fall in. I kind of wonder if I can make the enemy fall in. Loot around. Sorry, I gotta go pick it up. Okay, let's go take this. So one of the things they did is they decided to implement a bigger open map. So all of this, I should be able to fly around. That's one of the reasons why I didn't necessarily modify my mech right away. It's because my mech was designed for speed and mobility. However, with the nerf and my dual attack stuff like this, I might as well go to a more traditional mech. Yeah, I can fly all over this place right now. Get that you can just attack to really extend how far you're going if you really needed to. Search the data emitter. So I've got to go to this old one over here. And take that and bring it over here.
Monitor replacement complete. Remember, you only need to be near the objective for a few seconds and the MAD unit will do the rest. Please take care of the void particle concentration on the way to the next one.
I've been practicing my combos a lot. I can basically string together a 12 hit combo at this point. Oh, they still made it take forever to quantum break. That's so lame. Lag. Always lag on the first launcher attack, unloading the game. Yeah, I spent a little bit of time trying to get used to the game again. Let's deal with this dude. The way the combos look like is, I'll count them out. 1, 2, Alt, 1, 2, Alt, 1, 2, Alt, 1, 2. And that's as far as I can take a combo. I'm starting to practice weapon switching in the middle of a combo to see if I can extend it even further. I have been able to do this. It's not very economical though, because you might as well just keep spamming attack. So if I'm flying around like this, and I wanted to attack, you can just keep attacking if you wanted to extend your reach. So what I mean by not economical is, I can do this reliably in the air, but it's just not really worth it. Swing, switch, swing, switch, swing, switch. It's like, that's not really useful at all. But that's what I mean by weapon switching. I'm trying to implement that with regular attacks on the ground. Alright, anyways, let's go find this thing.
Second anchor is done. I've located the next one already, and if there's void particle concentration, please clear it out. Don't want any quarks showing up and destroying those anchors we work to replace, do we?
Because the dialogue in the missions are so quick, and usually I'm busy when I'm fighting, so I can't really look at it. I do that in post-editing. I may not be able to emit flames anymore by doing this, but I can still do quite a number on the enemy. That's just always sad when I get nerfed. That's one of the consequences of... Oh, okay, that's assuming they watched my videos, but it's one of the consequences of posting stuff online, is if I have a really good build, any good secret is out. What is that? Yeah, it looked like kind of explodey thing, but I wasn't able to target it. Pick up all the loot. Come on, dude.
The next one should be the final anchor. I don't want to jinx anything, but I feel that there's too few quarks around. My information logs show there's always larger groups of quarks at every renewal. But I wouldn't mind a fortunate occurrence though. Just be extra careful. Also, when we're done, would you please pet the MAD unit? They installed an AI that will recognize you if you return for another mission.
I'm not really sure you guys want to get that close to me. My blender mode is just a byproduct of me wanting to build a speed character. Items are kind of hard to see. I have to use the map to find them at all. Is that it over there? Yeah, it is. Not so much for having a pet.
What in the world is that M.A.S.S unit? A unit of that size?
It's you. The one the boss was talking about. Here to mess up something once again, eh? Want to take the easy way out and just leave your M.A.S.S here? Or feel some pain?
Are those appearances some kind of diversion tactic? Because it's working really good with me. It's too ridiculous. These guys thinking there's some kind of post-apocalyptic world where bikers rule?
Hey, don't do us like that. Tell us, we look good in these clothes. Come on, you know you want to do so.
Banner, please kindly turn off your proximity communications device.
Can't activate quantum break in the air. Lame. I'm assuming there's infinite small fry. Yeah, it looks like they're just respawning. That's fine. Alright, I'll deal with the big guys. Did one of them just fall in, though? I think he did. Oh, he flew out. I wonder if he was smart enough to do that, or if that was just programmed. Alright. Let's do this. Sayonara, dude. Is that... Why is... So I kind of wondered about this. Is this like part of the cutscene? Because I knew there were definitely two reds. I didn't notice this one. This is definitely a copy of me right there.
Yes! Put them in their place! Make that you ridiculously dressed pilot!
Mission clear.
Sorry, I let my emotions get the better of me. Mission accomplished. But that mad unit. I feel bad for something that cute.
Okay. Sorry about the unceremonious ending there, but I had to get the loot. Oops, wrong button. Gotta set up something for the thumbnail. same ceiling light, the same couch, and the familiar scent of tea. You're back in base with no sense of urgency once again. Missions have been on the slow side and no large-scale incidents have happened at all. In fact, you can't remember how long it was since the last one. Commander, you've been neglecting your daily training for 2 days now. Did anything happen? You turned to look at your assistant, operator, handler, and everything else anybody in the base called her, holding 2 cups of freshly brewed tea in her hands. She put one down on the side table, which used to be just a box, but the others are too lazy to build into the table. Well, it's good that everything is calm right now. It's better to always be prepared for the worst, you know? And don't give me that reason that your muscles sore for a few days after exercising. We have supplements and accelerated recovery processes ages ago, Commander. Oh, don't worry, Rihanna. The Commander's stretching his arms and legs now. The door on the opposite side of the room opened, revealing Elenir and Condolia. They both walked in, prompting Rihanna to ask if they wanted tea as well, to which Condolia nodded and took a seat at the resting area. Elenir, on the other hand, walked up to you and threw her information tablet at you. You picked it up, saw some digital readings and paragraphs your brain refused to comprehend with all its scientific terms, numerals, and old ancient letters to signify more calculations and variables. Well, we compared the data you got for us, analyzed them, and then hit a wall. Figurative, of course. We didn't try our best. A small thud could be heard from the mini-table where Condolia had just sat. We weren't able to fully understand the data it has given us. There are too many places around the red zone that might be where our enemies are hiding, but we cannot pinpoint it due to fluctuations in movements. Which, honestly, is a very damn strange situation, knowing how delicate and short-lived void particles are. But maybe that's just how red zones filled with void particles work. It's too much for us, with only the knowledge we were provided with. Condolia nor Kale worked hands-on with void particles or observed them hands-on. What? I've been trying to make this as legible as possible for the viewing audience, but man. So what's our next step, Nier? Do we wait for another opportunity or find someone who can help us? But that would be difficult, right? A person must either be a renowned void particle researcher or someone who's a direct apprentice of those people. Well, I actually knew someone who could do that for us. It's really difficult to get in touch. They're a free spirit, aggressive and non-negotiable, even at my standards though. The only reason they took a liking to me and helped me before was because of the methods I used to greet them. We don't have a choice. We need to be ahead of everyone else, especially the Cyclops. You faced them up there. They know we're on their trail for sure. They are some smooth-brain, all-brawn guys. What? I assume that means they're stupid. They aren't some smooth-brain, all-brawn guys, even if they dress that ridiculously. That is a case to be hurried with. Why don't we wait a bit and file it officially as a mission instead of trying to do everything ourselves, including this illegally trespassing into a monitored area? Because we cannot wait for the WDF to do it. Remember when I told you my family never had a fruitful result of our request to investigate with the matters of our convoy? I suspect there are a few insiders planted inside the WDF from the Cyclops. I had years to think about it. All the available technology we have, surveillance and manpower to take them down. Why aren't we able to catch them already? You've read all mission descriptions of paperwork, right? Well then let me ask you, dear Rihanna. Why haven't incidents like ours during the damn mission mentioned in what you read? If there is a possibility of facing these terrorists, we'll be sure to read about them somewhere, right? But no, it's never mentioned. I have used all that I can, connections, money, everything, and read through a lot of the mission reports in their archives. Nothing at all is mentioned about the Cyclops. That is quite strange, isn't it? Well, there have been minor incidences between M.A.S.S pilots and POCs here and there, but nothing specific. That is certainly strange indeed. Right? So once again, we take matters into our own hands. This data we have will surely be able to take us to our final goal. For now, I'll get in touch with my old friend. You guys kill some time. The talks will end in a few minutes if they answer my calls. With that closing, Elenir turned around, pulled out a small communication device and walked away towards the briefing room. Before long, you heard the locks clicking together. Looks like this is an important private call. You start to wonder who this old friend of hers is. Actually, it actually is kind of difficult sometimes to be doing all the voices on the fly, and while still mentally interpreting what they're trying to say, so that I'm not giving you English or whatever it is. Let's see if we got any new items. Nope, we haven't gotten to any point yet. All right, we're gonna keep hauling then. Did you ever unlock multiplayer? Nope. Archive? What? It'd be nice if you could replay the story so that way people could look at it when if they eventually polish it. I don't really mind that it's broken a lot, but I can definitely see some areas where it needs improvement. Stop repeating yourself as much, leave some things unsaid. These are all writing tips that I strongly suggest the makers look at.